on to Silphium terebinthinaceum. Now you have to say that 3 times fast. Silphium terebinthinaceum.
Yeah.
It's called prairie dock. It has sandpapery leaves that form this big clump that gets maybe 18, 20 inches tall. And then in late summer, it comes up with these enormous spikes. They can be 8 feet tall.
That's a great picture.
And that's a great picture you have there. And a lot of little flowers on top. It sprays out. It doesn't, it is a sunflower. It's a relative of the rudbeckias and all the prairie sunflowers, but it has these terribly, very, very tall. I just like the plant. I don't know. There are 2 forms. There are several forms available, but 2 forms I like. The one with the serrated leaf, like shown on the left, is given a different species name that can't remember that name in, but the one in picture is probably terebinthinaceum. It doesn't have that serration on the edge, but they're very similar, and both of them are very nice. But you got
they're big and they're late, and the birds love them. The goldfinches sit on top of those flowers clusters, bobbing back and forth and eating seeds. It's great. Yeah.
There's a form which is, you just said it, the Silphium perfoliatum. Some of the forms will seed around a lot and are quite invasive. I've never seen this one to be invasive. That's a great picture here. That's nice.
Yeah, with the daylilies in front. Sure.
But again, the center of focus in a garden to have something like that, I think it's just a great plant.
People always ask us.
The whole garden together. Yeah.
People always asked us when we had it in the front yard there. They would always, what's that flower? And they'd point to the flower, and we'd say, well, that's called prairie dock. And they'd say, what's that big leaf down there? I said, well, that's prairie dock. They somehow people didn't believe that the 2 went together because there's nothing between the flower and the.
Yeah. All right. Thalictrum, one of my favorite plants. By the way, I like this whole family. Anything in this family I like. None of them are glitzy that I can think of, but Thalictrum is, there are a number of native forms. The one that is called Rocabrunianum, I like that name too. My father named it lavender mist, knowing fully well that the name Rocabrunianum didn't have a whole lot of sales appeal.
Did you name lavender mist?
My father named it, yeah.
All right. Another one that I'm glad we got.
And it gets, what would you say, 6 feet tall, something in that range, and has lavender flowers. There is a white form, a white and chartreuse form that's on the market called Thalictrum elin, E-L-I-N. That one will get as much as 10 feet tall.
Wow.
And it needs a very special garden. I mean, it's not going to go in your typical rock garden for sure. But I like that. It is sterile and needs to be done by division. There are a number of other forms and very nice. Go ahead.
Do you grow the kind of yellow-green one, glaucum, Thalictrum glaucum, with kind of bluish leaf on it?
Right. I have grown that in the past. That kind of the foliage is bluish, but the flowers are yellowish on that.
Yeah, cyan, like a cyan green color. It's nice that they stand up straight in the shade, which is really nice.
Yeah.
First time.
No staking.
Yeah. First time we walked into a garden in late July, and there was a 6-foot Thalictrum blooming. I said, well, we got to have that. All right. So ironweed.
All right. Again, a native plant. There are forms that run all the way down into South America, by the way, many of which are not hardy, but these forms that you've got pictured are native. Heteromonia, the one on the left, is a rather new introduction. It gets up, 18 inches, but blooms very, very late. Typically ironweed, and some of them get up 6 feet.
2 feet, maybe.
Maybe 2 feet. Yeah. Some of them get up 6 feet or more. There's one called Nova borosensis, which is
8 feet.
8 feet. And I like the form. And then there are a number of intermediate forms. They look very much like asters, but bloom maybe a month earlier than asters, August and September, whereas most asters bloom September and October. There is a white form as well. There is not a lot of difference in the color, short of the white. The color is that, again, pinky magenta color. Not my favorite color, but I love that very needle-like foliage. I think it's a very attractive thing. Again, foliage contrast in a garden is an important element that is often overlooked by gardeners. Not only the color of the foliage, but the nature of the foliage, whether it is round or linear or whatever. And that makes such a nice little bundle of a plant.
I think the iron butterfly, Lettermanii, doesn't seed itself around quite as much as the taller ones do. At least
I haven't seen it seed itself at all. And
Yeah,
it
it's more
dries
like-
up pretty easily. So
More
it
like-
does well by top cutting.
more like
All
more like
right, and we have more.